I spent 24 hours with the new Legion Go handheld, and man, I have some thoughts. I really want to share them because I think there's a lot of discourse on this specific device right now, and I don't think that a lot of it is warranted, and I actually think there's a lot more critical things about this device and people are actually talking about. So let's get into it. Now, please keep in mind, this is my first 24 hours of the device. This is not my full conclusive review right now. I will obviously be doing a longer and more in-depth review once I've had longer time with the actual device to give a better overall thought on. This is just my initial 24 hours experience, impressions, genuine personal thoughts as a buyer, as a user of the Legion Go. To start off, I want to make it clear, this handheld and any other handhelds I mentioned were purchased completely on my own. I wish they would send them to me. Asus or Lenovo, feel free to reach out because I'm totally down, but I'm just as much a consumer as anyone else. I pre-ordered the Legion Go on Best Buy, and I actually ordered the ROG Ally also on Best Buy, in case you were wondering. Now, to be honest, the Legion Go is everything I kind of wanted the ROG Ally to be, but with a huge, gigantic asterisk. They both have the same powerful AMD Z1 Extreme processor and graphics inside them, but the Legion Go feels so much more half-baked when you compare it to the ROG Ally or even something like the steamdeck. And actually, just talking about the software, it froze. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on there. They both, honestly, Asus's software and Lenovo software tends to both lag, obviously, but I found that Lenovo's is just so much worse, just without a doubt. Way worse here. It has this weird issue where the graphics get really low quality. So I can like zoom in. You can kind of see there on like Borderlands that it just looks really pixelated for some reason on all of the graphics. I don't know where they're getting their graphics from or how they're pulling these images, but point is, it's just weirdly unpolished in tons and tons of areas. The Legion Space software is also super confused as far as what it actually is supposed to be, honestly. You can see here that they have, a homepage, right? And, recommended. The thing is, none of these recommended games are my actual games. These are legitimately just ads for titles, basically, and it's frozen again. I'm not sure why. Oh. Yeah, the Asus software freezes and slows down a lot too, but the Lenovo's is just so much worse. I genuinely don't know how they put this out. Okay, now it's good. Oh, okay, this is also the big thing, is all over the homepage, there are these store deals and whatnot. They spend so much time shoving things in my face that are not about my actual game library or the games that I'm playing. If this is at least information, they can see I own Destiny 2, so they have a sale for the Destiny 2 DLC expansion or something like that. That's actually really cool. That's valuable information that's important to me as a user, right? But instead, it's just whatever stuff they want to sell me. And I'm sure Lenovo's taking a percentage of these, and that's why they're putting them on here to kind of get a commission or affiliate. I'm not too sure. But point is, it's a horrible experience for launching your games. You compare that to Asus's. Let me turn off the real-time monitor and stuff. You can see Asus's also freezes up a little bit. They all freeze up. I don't know why no one can make a good game launcher for some reason. This issue has existed on my ROG Ally since I've had it, and the freezing has existed on the Legion Go for the first 24 hours I've had it so far too. The point is, you can see there that the game library is the very first thing that the Asus software throws you into. The Armory Crate prioritizes your library over anything else. There are some storefront stuff and like customization and whatnot in here, but front and center is your library, and that's really important to me. That means that they prioritize me playing my games just as much as they prioritize the actual software, which is really good. Obviously, Lenovo prioritizes sales and ads over my gameplay, which is unfortunate. Now, hopefully with this feedback, Lenovo can make changes, because this is all software. This is all things that can be changed. And I will say the ROG Ally was not perfect when it first came out either. There were tons of problems too. So I do expect a lot of this to be ironed out with the Legion Go at some point. Now, one of the biggest selling points for me for the Legion Go was actually this whole like switch thing. If I can show you the ability to detach, if I can do it, the control. That's what I got to talk about. The controllers themselves and this detaching thing. I don't know if maybe I'm just an idiot, and that's totally possible. It's true, but I think there has to be something wrong with this mechanism or something, because it's a great idea. It is really cool. The wireless functionality when this thing's not freezing is actually really smooth. It connects and reconnects software wise super fast, which I'm actually surprised about. I just hate the actual act of putting it in and taking them out. You can see, to put them in, there is no satisfying, there is a vague click. You can kind of hear a vague click. Let me try to get, the left one clicks a lot more for some reason for me. Let me try to see if I can, there's not really a click. It does let you know that it's attached and detached, but that's the way I find out if I'm doing it right. I wish there was an actual like click like how the Joy-Cons have them on the Switch. This is same idea, but horrible execution in my opinion, as far as the mechanism. The software of actually getting the controllers to come off like so and function as independent controllers is actually done really, really well. I haven't had any issues of these syncing yet so far. They do take a second, as you can see, to pair back up once they're taken off, but it's really quick and I love that. Also, the whole mouse FPS feature I think is really, cool, and I'm excited to try it when I get the chance. I just haven't had the time, honestly. I'm not super used to being able to do something like this, considering all handhelds ever made were, like this, except for the Switch, which even then that's still kind of a basic analog. There's never been a handheld that had a mouse built in, so that's exciting and I do want to try that out, but I don't really have much to say on it just yet. So far my big issue is the software and the way these controllers clamp on. Maybe it's just my unit, it just feels really unsatisfactory. I don't feel good when I put these on and I take them off. I almost feel like I'm breaking something. Hopefully I'm not just a dumbass, but again, that's totally possible. Now, before I get to the good stuff and kind of how I feel about the device more positively, just want to get some of the negative stuff out the way. These buttons here, so you can kind of see here better. So these are actually your start and select right here, right? This is the button to open up this Legion software. And then this is the button to open up this other like side Legion bar right here, right? That's the dumbest decision ever made. This is a really painfully annoying thing that they did. If you can see here, the ROG Ally in any gaming handheld ever made always has a start and select on the top or in the middle in some way, right? The ROG Ally does have its own software buttons, but they're stacked, as you can see, underneath them. So they're not misplacing buttons that have been traditionally been there for 10 years, right? They're just adding their own buttons to other spots, which is fine. Nova said, fuck all that. We're going to do whatever we want and we're not going to care, because there's this weird issue that if you're playing an intense game and you have this controller, right? You're playing, right? Like just imagine that, and you need to pause it. Your immediate thought is, okay, I'll pause here or I'll pause here, right? But no, you have to pause down here. And I don't know, maybe my thumb, it's like a weird stretching motion that I'm not used to doing with a video game controller. I'm not used to going below my analog stick in a fast motion like that. Any normal controller, this controller, for example, you're never you're never going super low, right? You're always going up. So it's this weird, game mind trick that I have with this, that I've been playing games and I've legitimately lost games or died in solo offline games because I have to do this weird thing and my thumb basically snaps to get down here. And again, that's just a personal problem. I do wish, and that's one of my biggest things that I hope they update, is to be able to swap these two buttons with these two buttons. It's a weird layout. I don't like it. I heard people complain about it at first and I was like, that's super small. Don't be a fucking baby about it. And now I understand where they're coming from, because it's just weird, especially because most games, especially games like Destiny, you interact with these buttons a lot to fast travel, to open up menus. You are never really going to be opening up these or using these keys to open up the Legion software because it sucks, right? So what are they doing here? They're obviously prioritizing their software over gameplay, which again, another time that Lenovo is doing questionable stuff that I don't fully understand why they're doing it. Now, the negatives out the way, how do I feel positively about the Legion Go? Is the Legion Go a good device? Hands down, yes. The Legion Go, when you take away all of Lenovo's bad software, the weird railing system, and again, most of this is subjective issues. These are not things that are for sure wrong with the device or things that are definite issues that you'll experience. These are my personal opinions. The positives are pretty objective stuff. First of all, the screen is huge. This screen, when you even look at it compared to the ROG Ally, is massive. Let me freaking get out of here. You can see here, the screen looks beautiful. The screen on the ROG Ally also looks great. They're both gorgeous screens. It's just the Legion Go screen is so much bigger, especially, let me lay them down flat so you can kind of get a good idea. So this is the Legion Go screen and this is the ROG Ally screen. I mean, they're massive differences, right? And so that's the big thing, is that you're able to just enjoy your games more. The whole bigger is better thing exists here because you are able to just experience more of your game. And that also extends to the battery. The battery on this thing is huge. I mean, you can even see here on the ROG Ally, it's already at 20%. I've been recording for maybe 15 minutes, and I think the battery was at about 50% when we started, maybe 40%. Still, 20% in 15 minutes is not exactly great. I don't know what Asus is doing with this device, but I really think there's an issue with battery drainage on the ROG Ally. It's a great device. I love using it. It's easily probably one of my favorite handhelds, period. But the battery drain is crazy on here. For what reason? I don't know. Because the Legion Go has a bigger screen, so you'd think it would draw more power. It's using the same power as the ROG Ally. You would think it would drain faster, right? But it doesn't. It lasts far longer, almost double from what I've been able to say and use and play with this thing so far, almost double the battery life. It could be that it just can cool more because it's so much bigger and has more airflow. That's totally possible, but it lasts so long. Just getting into a game of Destiny, getting into a Vanguard game on the ROG Ally takes about 5% of my battery, just in the loading screens alone. I can get through a full Vanguard mission on the Legion Go and probably only burn through maybe 10-12%. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I'm doing something crazy, but the Legion Go lasts forever and the ROG Ally dies so fast for me. And I will say also the big thing I love about the Legion Go is the fact that I can use any external GPU with it. This is basically a full-fledged Windows handheld, so there's really nothing stopping you from using this as like an actual Windows computer. And as you saw, you can take off the controllers and use this as an actual tablet, which like at that point, it's basically a Surface. Like there's really nothing that this can't do that an actual Windows computer can. And on top of that, it has 2 USB-C ports, one down here and one up here. You can really use this as an actual PC if you really wanted to. And I think that's my goal at the end of the day with these handhelds is how can I use these as more than just handheld? What can I do that can make these actual functional computers for me? Because that's the thing is I like to dock these on a desk at my TV. I like to actually play with these in a way that's not just purely handheld, kind of like a Switch. And with both of these, you can dock them and use them in desktop. But the Legion Go, I think with the built-in kickstand that it has, with the better cooling, with the nicer screen, lends itself to being basically just a beefed up ROG Ally. It has better battery life than the ROG Ally. It performs the same, if not better, just because of better airflow. It doesn't get as hot, anywhere near as hot as the ROG Ally, but I do think the Legion Go has way louder fans. I'm not sure, I've heard other people complain about the fans being kind of weird on theirs. Mine's are also kind of loud, not like super loud, but basically the balance mode on the Legion Go is kind of near the turbo mode of the Ally, realistically. Overall, my thoughts right now is the Legion Go is easily probably the best performing handheld you can realistically get right now. There's a bunch of stuff from other manufacturers like Ein and Aya Neo and whatnot, and I've never touched those, so I can't speak on those. But as far as a handheld that anyone can pick up from a store and buy right now, this is probably the best you're going to get. As far as just performance, battery, features, this thing is trying so many things, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate that this device is trying a lot. That's one thing that I think a lot of these companies don't do enough, is just pushing the envelope as far as what this device can do. You have a mouse, you have separate controllers, you have a kickstand, you have, I don't even know what screen this is. But point is, this screen is, I think it's almost like a 2K screen. I'm not too sure, but they went all out on this device, and I appreciate that. I appreciate them pushing the envelope forward for what it means to be, you know, a PC handheld, essentially. And there's obviously drawbacks to it. The Legion Go is huge in every way possible. The ROG Ally feels so much smaller. I can actually probably fit this in like a side sling or bag or something and use this just fine. It probably will be just fine in any public scenario too. I don't think anyone would look at you crazy with this. Whenever I've pulled this out before, people just think it's a Switch. Like that's automatically what they think it is, which is fine. The Legion Go though, this thing is a beast. Like this is something that, because of how loud it is and how big it is, I would almost think twice about pulling this out in like public transit, like a plane or a bus or a train or something. Because one, it's big, it's just kind of in your face. It can be loud depending on what you're playing. And it's also kind of, it's not ugly, but it just has this weird factor of just like, I can't look away from it, you know? The ROG Ally, if I saw this in person, I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, nice, it's a white handheld, cool. This one, for some reason, sticks out. I don't know if it's the big, gigantic Legion on the back, but it almost feels and looks like it's a prototype of something that's gonna come out later on. I don't know, that's just me. Overall, the Legion Go is a very polarizing device for me personally. I have so many thoughts on it, both mainly positive, honestly. I'm sorry if this video came off mainly negative. It's because it's really hard to critique positive things. It can play games beautifully. I'll show, hopefully I've cut some gameplay in between this, but the gameplay is amazing. There's not anything I can play on here that doesn't play good. There's very few things that I've found to really push this thing to its limits. It plays all games pretty solidly, honestly, with no real issues. But I really wanted to get my negative feedback out there because I think that's important. I want Lenovo to see not only me, but other people talk about these issues with the software, with some of these weird things that they've chosen to do, and take note of it. And if they can, fix it in software, you know, give me an option to remap these buttons to these buttons if they can. But overall, it's just really important to me that I want Lenovo to take notice of my issues and other people's issues too, because that's what happened with the Ally. Everyone said what they didn't like and what their issues were, and eventually Asus did come out and fix some things. They still weren't super vocal, and there's still issues with the SD card reader and tons of just problems, and I want Lenovo to be better. I want them to improve what they have here, because I think it's a great solid foundation that can really do a lot and push the envelope even further if they are willing to work with the customer a little bit and take advice from people that are going to be using the device daily. But overall, like I said, this is my first day with the console. Hopefully I have another video following up, you know, a week, 2 weeks after using it. I will say overall, how do I feel about it? This is probably going to be replacing my ROG Ally as far as just gaming wise. The bigger screen, the bigger battery, there's just so many options with this that this can fill in, and I like a lot about what this is bringing to the table, in the sense that I want to support it. I want this to be successful, and I want them to take the next step and actually fix what is here already. So overall, the Legion Go, in my opinion, is one of the most ambitious gaming handhelds to pretty much exist right now. It's trying a lot, it's doing a lot, and I want it to keep going. So hopefully my follow-up is even better than what this is, because right now I feel like the issues I have are really minor. I have no actual issues with the physical hardware other than the buttons being where they are, and again, that can be fixed via software, so that's not the end of the world. There are no deal breakers with this handheld right now for me, honestly. There's nothing that I've experienced so far that makes me just immediately want to return it. I think the changes that can be made here are definitely really minor and can be done pretty quickly, but overall I love the Legion Go, and I'm sorry if this video maybe didn't come off that I loved it, but I have had so much fun using it. I've had so much fun tinkering around with the different features that it has and exploring the menus and whatnot. So stay tuned for a follow-up on this, because I do want to talk more about the Legion Go. If you guys want to do more actual comparisons between the Legion Go and the Ally or even the Steam Deck, I have all three. So if you guys want me to do an in-depth video comparing them, I will totally do that. But as of right now, this is going to be my main gaming handheld probably moving forward. This is an awesome device, and I really do hope you guys either pick one up or look into picking one up. But thanks for watching the video. I do appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end, and don't forget to like and subscribe and all that stuff, and have a good one.